Mayor's report.
We received from the magistrate $603.39. And from the county, we received $673.57.
Make a motion to accept the mayor's report.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the mayor's report. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Police report.
Okay, I'll have a copy in front of you. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay, 203. Have you ever heard of Narcan? No. Okay, Narcan, what's that?
Just when I read the letter.
Yes. It's a drug that's given by EMS to somebody who has an overdose. And it's saved many lives when it happened in time. There's been a law signed by Governor Corbett allowing the first responders to administer that to overdose people. There's a company that donated so many thousand units, Calio Pharmaceuticals. They donated, I think, over 4,000 units to certain areas, and our area is one of the highest, so we were a target area for this. And it would be an injection. The units would be distributed through the Heighton Ambulance. They've been selected as the EMS to administer the dispensation to law enforcement. The units, there would be no cost to the agencies. There would be an agreement that needs to be signed. The Heighton Ambulance will be having paperwork on that. My question is, do you want us to get involved with this?
As far as administering it, or as far as calling them to come and administer it?
No, as far as the police administering it.
This would be a first responder, Jesse, first person on site.
So our police would administer it, not that. The way I read your letter, I thought you meant that we would call the Heighton Ambulance.
No, right now, the Heighton Ambulance does do that.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Okay.
A lot of times, we're there before the ambulance, and if they're out of town, you're waiting until they get
Yeah,
it.
you're waiting. Okay.
Okay?
Need a motion on that?
You guys have to go through training for this?
There is training, but it's not extensive. Well, the Calio units, they're almost like an AED talks you through it. Well, these Calio units do the same thing. They talk you through administering the drug. They cost like $500 a piece. They're given to us for free, and they'll be replenished for free as long as the supply lasts. Once the supply runs out, then they're looking at doing the nasal injector, which is a lot cheaper, and that's what we'll probably transition to. And when we get trained on these, we'll also get trained on the nasal injectors at the same time, so that'll take care of all the training.
Does that training involve actually diagnosing if that's what it is? I know it's not rocket science, but I don't want to see us get sued for.
Right. Well, first of all, we can't be sued. Okay. There's the law clearly states that. Okay. That we are protected. But yeah, the training will have some of that in it as well. Yeah, we just don't show up on the scene and say, oh, it's easy.
I don't think there's any adverse effects.
Okay. That was my next question.
If you aren't.
About the only adverse effects are throwing up. There you go.
I don't.
Nothing that's.
The drug is like it's a pre-measured amount and stuff. You know, it's already a pre-measured amount.
Do we need a motion?
Mike, oh, you have a question?
Yeah, I didn't review the act for the immunity.
I have it here if you'd like to see it.
Yeah, I would, because it's not my concern about necessarily administering it. Not my concern necessarily about administering it. What if we're trained and we don't replenish and we have the ability to administer the drug, okay, we don't have it.
Right. Well, it's by
Is
the
there,
same.
is there a liability, you follow where I'm going with
Okay,
that?
but by the same token, like if we have the opportunity to get it and don't, you're in the same boat.
I don't think if you don't take advantage of the opportunity to get it, and you don't train the personnel, then, and you don't administer it, you can't necessarily be sued. If this gives you immunity from liability for administering the drug, my question is there an immunity if you have the training and we don't do something like get more of the drug, always be
Right,
for free now?
If the free ones are gone, then they're gonna have to go to the nasal, and we don't replenish the
We don't
nasal.
replenish, or we don't get something for free, and all of a sudden there's a cost involved.
Well, the cost for the nasals are like $25. And it would be the same thing that our ambulance carries, so they would replenish them for us.
Right. But if you don't have the budget and you don't have the cost, and you decide you're not gonna get that with a trained officer, you follow what I'm saying, somebody's having an overdose, we don't have the drug, because we didn't purchase it, and we have trained personnel on it, does that open us up for liability? That's my only concern.
I'm not an attorney, like. Joni Dessel was gonna be here, but she couldn't make it. She probably would have had an answer for you.
It's not, you understand, it's not the liability for acting,
Right.
it's the liability for failure to act if we didn't do it. That's the one that, when somebody, I understand, if you administer the drug, it doesn't work, something happens, adverse reaction, or they pass away, we can't be sued for administering the drug. I'm asking is, what if we don't administer the drug? Is there any liability for participating in it? I'll take a look at this one.
Okay.
Joe, you don't need to wait for the record.
No,
Okay.
Let's table it.
we table it, you don't tell my board.
That's the only thing I'm saying.
And I'll give you Joni's contact number too, Mike, so you can talk directly.
Remind us about this next month, we'll make sure.
Sure. The other thing I have, there is a thing out there called TRACS. It stands for Traffic Criminal System. And what it boils down to are electronic issued citations. State police use that currently, the same system, the TRACS system, and we would be able to get all of the software for free to utilize that system. The way that works is, first of all, it would save time when an officer issues a citation. Right now, it takes anywhere from 8 to 15 minutes when you issue one citation. This will cut that from 4 to 8 minutes. You'll be, if you look at your driver's license, there's a barcode in the back. We'd be swiping that information in. The citations, when they're done, they would be directly electronically filed with the local magistrates, and they go to AOPC electronically. So there's no running citations back and forth to the magistrates as well. And plus, we have to buy our own citations, and this would eliminate that as well.
Is the magistrate set up for that system to work?
Yeah. Because the state police are already using it.
How many cars would you be looking for?
Well, I think the equipment we can take from car to car.
So it's portable.
Yeah,
We need one car.
yeah. Well, it would be, we would be is a scanner, to scan, to use the barcodes, and a printer to print out the citation and issue to the person, and we would have to utilize our computers on our cars again, okay? And that is a fee to, we would get the wireless card for free from Verizon, but there's like a $40 a month fee for that wireless service.
Cost-wise, we're probably looking 500 to 1,000 plus the 40 a month.
Right. I would say like $800.
Just for a printer and scanner, essentially.
Yeah. And then you're $40 a month. And then another plus on that too, we'll be able to utilize JNet for the cars again as well. So that's a plus too.
Can you find out if there's any, find us something with a warranty on it, as far as the equipment,
Okay,
the scanner, the printer.
okay. I'll get that information.
Anybody have a problem?
Is that something you're interested in? I mean, there's definitely, it's the future of police work, it really is.
I don't disagree. Proceed.
And there's a questionnaire and stuff I gotta fill out and send in to those people, so.
Do we need a motion for this, Jesse?
No, the way it's written, we don't need a motion.
Just buy equipment.
Yeah. Thank you, that's all I have.
Motion to accept the police report.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept the police report. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We'll do the application review.
Yes. We interviewed a Colin Leibensberger tonight, and I would recommend that you would hire him as a part-time police officer.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to hire Colin Leibensberger as a part-time police officer. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Planning and zoning.
Okay, October was a pretty normal month in terms of calls and the amount of permits received. You can see there were 4 permits received, 3 were approved, types of approvals are on the right there, a shed, a driveway entrance, and an access ramp. 1 is still under review, and that will be heading to the zoning board for approval, probably within the next month or 2.
Oh, yeah.
If there's no questions, I'll make a motion to accept the zoning officer's report.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to accept the zoning officer's report. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. All right, work leader report. Bill, do you have anything for us that we should know outside of what's in the report? Christmas lights done?
One thing we should do with them is look at the changing the lights up to LEDs. Because every year we're gonna change bulbs and it's,
Can you be changed?
yeah, you can just restrict them.
If you Kara got a call on from whatever light place it was, they give us the service that lights. And then they asked about getting out of it.
The same thing on.
It's not a bad idea. I don't know if we can string them ourselves or if we have to buy whole new units. As far as
You guys want to check into
that
that?
fixture. That's why I said, I'm like, well, I don't know if we, can we do them ourselves or do we have to buy, like, do they not sell them like that? Or they want us to buy the whole new fixture?
I'll call him, I have his number.
Don't be ready to do it yourself, probably just tire out on there or something.
Yeah, they're electrical taped on, actually. It's not like it's not complicated, it's just, I don't know, the spacing is different than a normal Christmas light you buy it.
I'm sure someone sells them, but do some homework.
You need breaking on tires yet? Off mark.
Lights
Still off, right?
Hopefully we don't have to use them.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
I mean, we need
How's it
to
get
talk,
to you?
Yeah, it needs,
doesn't matter what they cost, you gotta want it.
Well, we're looking at the price, the ones that are on it right now are recaps and top caps, and we're working for the state, they could change that, too. So I don't see a reason why we should pay $400 for a tire versus maybe $175 or $180 for a top cap.
Right.
So that's like, wanted to get a, cross reference on it, because we did get a price over 400 on that.
it's right around 400, I think, about it.
And some of the things that the recaps.
We don't find rims in them.
I have.
Guys, that's spare wheels. Is that gonna be no change? Why don't you take them up somewhere, look into it.
See if Cobalt has it.
Yeah.
Any questions on the work leader report? Comments? Motion to approve.
police car, and they fixed it up, did a fantastic job.
So you did a good job.
Great job with that.
Thank you.
Motion to accept work leaders report.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded to accept the work leader report. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Tax collector report.
Alice King submitted total taxes for the month of October 2014, $2,104.83 with a commission of $105.24.
Make a motion to accept that report. Tax collector's report.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded to accept the tax collector report. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Wage tax report.
Berkheimer submitted total taxes for the month of October 2014, total EIT of $17,568.26, commission of $304.45 with postage billed of $6.74, total LST of $106.32, commission $2.18, and postage $3.76.
Motion to accept wage tax report.
Motion's been made and seconded to accept the wage tax report. All those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Receipts.
Total receipts for the month of October 2014, general fund $69,921.76, sanitation account $24,459.70, and community center $500.
Looking for a motion to approve receipts.
Make the motion.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded to approve receipts. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Committee reports. Streets.
I guess there's not too much, we got everything pretty much ready for, when we need the trucks on Wednesday and stuff, the trucks are up and running, everything's pretty good shape, so. Checking any of them storm drains, Billy, did you get go through
Yeah,
them?
tomorrow I'm gonna get to my door here.
Up here,
It's a
probably.
bit wet, they
Yeah,
got it, yeah.
just to make sure that, do them all a visual and see, make sure. Outside of that, not much of anything for the streets.
Buildings. Mike, did you have a chance to look at it all?
What's that?
The new
Yeah, I was over there, actually, the last time I was over, the doors went on, it's kind of tough without the daily work. I talked to Billy, the door's done. One thing I'd like to do is get the lock changed on that, so it matches the locks that we have for all the, with the master key system. It's not something that's incredibly important, but something we need to get done sooner rather than later.
maybe some more wood up around.
Well, we're gonna have to put, what, another 2 feet up, you think,
Yeah, at least.
pressure treated. We can ask them what that's gonna cost.
No, we called it, they never called us back.
Okay.
We do that ourselves.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah. But we gotta get a pressure lumber.
My guess is it's gonna be around $8 a stick, and we need 30 pieces, so I figure,
It needs to be.
right, figure out, if it's not a big deal, I'll call you for Wednesday, whatever it comes in. It's coming through, so they have to order it, they don't have it in stock at the item. We do have a stock at other 84s, but they don't, so that they can ship it out there, so. If I call them down, we.
No, if they're gonna ship it, how to deliver this to us.
Or they can just deliver it right out there.
Make a motion for that, just to cover us.
Yeah. Motion been made. Go ahead.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to provide the lumber materials needed for, to finish off the new salt shed. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Other thing, buildings over the downtime of the winter, I looked at the kitchen with the community center.
We got all the parts for that. There's all the receptacles and stuff to put it for the.
There's some work needs to be done.
But, maybe we can find an electrician to help us.
I can pretty much handle it, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's the receptacle, it's not a big deal. We got all the stuff for it the other day.
Did you get everything for the dishwasher as well?
Yes.
So you just have to do the plumbing. Like you said, it's not, incredibly important, it's very important.
Right.
Let's try to get
Everything we had
those.
on the list, like, went out to.
Here, put down the other work orders.
We have it, whenever we get the time, as far as the downtime goes, we'll be all right, we'll be able to do it.
Like I said, not a rush, without time, if there's other things that I don't do, we done.
Anything else for buildings?
I think that's about it.
Emergency services? John, have anything?
You know, like the Relief Association check, has that arrived?
Oh, yes, I owe that to you. I will get that to you tomorrow. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yes. You guys do okay on the Halloween party? Who's fun?
Yeah, we paid a few bucks, it wasn't a great fundraiser for us, but we did.
Anything coming up that we should know about?
Dark one in January.
You know the date off the
No
top?
fires.
Yeah, where's?
is that the 24th?
I don't know the day off the top of my head, but.
But there's a dark
January
one.
kicks off fundraising. Yeah, the dark one will kick off for your fundraising again.
Thank you. Rec?
Jody's not here, but she did send me.
Christmas on the Hill, December 14th.
Christmas on the Hill will be held Sunday, December 14th, with Santa arriving by helicopter at Chamber Field at noon. And they'll be setting up a meeting with the gentleman, DCNR representative, to look over the parks for the new grant that's coming up next year, since they were denied the other one. She'll contact council with that if anybody's interested in attending. And they'll be discussing the park planning and specifics of the application, and any guidance from council for getting quotes and budgeting for the application. That's it. Okay.
And when the grant cycle comes up, we can do the same thing as last time.
Yep.
Just have to reapply. Do you know what the date is for the December meeting?
For the December meeting, it's always the first Tuesday of the month. Oh yeah, December 2nd at 7:30.
Rec meeting December 2nd, 7:30 over at the rec hall. Use help in attendance if at all possible. Right. Anybody have anything else for rec? If not, I'll be looking for a motion to approve committee reports. I need that motion. Motion's been made and seconded to approve committee reports. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Communications.
The only thing that I have in there to bring to council's attention is Mr. Sespetowski sent a letter to the borough and to Attorney Greig in regards to placing something in Ludlow Park to honor those who have served in the waterborne services, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard. And he had mentioned about putting it on the flagpole, give the flagpole across from the Parkview Ludlow Street to the Carbon County Navy Club. They like to put a plaque on it, the flagpole is not being used right now.
I think that flagpole's a really rough thing, there's a reason it's not being used. I haven't looked at it in probably 10 years, I think I'm the last person to finish it. I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but I think the reason the flagpole isn't used is because it's.
They're gonna maintain everything, so.
Bill, doesn't that need check?
Plus, there's no light on it, so we're not gonna
Doesn't
fly.
that flagpole need some pretty good repairs?
I thought so.
think so.
Yeah.
Because didn't the shade tree used to use it, but then they couldn't anymore because something was wrong?
I checked, I guess it's like 15 years.
One of the good inspection, and we should say before. And we could also remove some shit to be repaired, just right down in the cement. Well, it was never painted.
Can only give away one piece of property.
Take that example of that.
You can get the right to put black there,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the plaque up there, but I think we ought to at least let you know that it's in bad shape and needs some repairs before they go investing too much.
I mean, if we have a nice day, you'll probably go to the ladder, come and take a look at it. But, might have to wait till spring lighting and stuff, bad time you're gonna be working. I think the height is 10 feet.
be opening in spring.
Well, does anybody have a problem allowing a plaque there? We're gonna have to see condition to see if a flag would be possible.
Yeah. I have no problem with that.
Requires further investigation.
Bill?
Did you say there's no light there at all, or a light that doesn't?
I don't believe there's any lights on that,
There is no-
that flagpole at all.
No,
That's why it isn't used.
There used to be one on that dead tree stump that was there.
We cut that down, well, the electric was connected to that at one point, and they moved it off, and
Oh, that's
it's
right.
right down.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the light being on that pole.
There was one, there was, but that's.
Maybe that's the wire that's.
That's what that was.
And we could replace the light, that's.
We can
not an
change
issue.
that.
It's just- I think that base is in pretty bad shape.
repaired yet, that toolbox.
Oh, yeah. Main thing,
Yeah.
200.
We have to break it on.
Yeah, I got the 9.5 kilo breaker for it down, we just need PP&L to shut the, power to it. So we can change it. Tony didn't wanna do it all, so, that's your boy.
Okay.
That requires some investigation. Looking for a motion to approve communications.
So moved.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded to approve communications. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Bills.
Total expenses for the month of November 2014, general fund $58,355.57, sanitation $24,113.29, community center $120, and street fund is $8,147.02.
You're looking for a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded to pay the bills. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Old business.
Mike, I just had that on there because I didn't know
Doesn't need
the
to be
follow-up
on
on
there.
UCC.
We have
You
to
got
table this
anything
again.
else?
He did not approve it.
Okay.
Told me he was gonna review it and get back to me. Yeah, so,
You put another call into it. Be looking for a motion to table ordinance number 7, 2014.
No flag.
No, 5.
Wow.
Flag.
Sorry.
I'll make a motion to table number 7.
No. Yeah, ordinance number 5, I'm sorry.
I'll make that motion.
Be looking for a second.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to table ordinance number 5 of 2014. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay. Now for ordinance number 7. All right, ordinance number 7 is the ordinance that has been so much talked about to dissolve the water authority. By doing this, we should realize some fairly significant cost savings, just basic things that we'll be saving on will be audit, be able to pool some equipment purchases, set some salary expense that we wouldn't otherwise see. There is some significant savings as far as the percentage of assets that their budget is worth, really. So it's not being done hastily. We've looked through the data. There's real cost savings there. There shouldn't be any disruption. There won't, to customers. Rates shouldn't be changing. Shouldn't really be anything different except taxpayers will save a little money. So with that, I'll be looking for a motion to adopt ordinance number 7 of 2014.
Well, I just have a question first off. We just had the meeting last week, and at the end of that meeting, we agreed to have another public meeting with the authority to go over some questions that were brought up. Are we going to take action before we have that meeting? Because I don't know if those questions have been answered from last week.
The questions that were brought up at the meeting last week were grandstand. I'm not really inclined to humor them with that. If they're looking to be helpful as far as making the transition, I'm happy to have as many meetings as they would like, but that's not what that was about.
Well, I just think that we're moving ahead a little too quick here, because even Mike Greek, our solicitor, indicated that some of the questions wouldn't be answered for a couple of weeks, so I think we're getting a little ahead of our skis, so to say, with adopting the ordinance before we get that information. I mean, what happens if the authorities' debts can't be transferred to the borough? We're gonna have to go to the bank and secure financing to pay them off then.
The understanding that I had is we can transfer the debts. The only thing that wouldn't be transferable is the litigation that I'm told is finished.
Well, I'll make the motion to table number 7, because I think it's premature. I think we should take some time to look into these a little quicker before we take action to resolve the authority. So I'll make that motion to table number 7.
I'll second that until we hear from, until Mike gets a chance to meet with Bilotsky and,
You want me to sit down with him and?
I'm not willing to wait till he decides it's okay. We're gonna schedule a date, and that's all there's to it. We're gonna do it that way, we're gonna schedule a date, it's gonna be before the end of the year. Not when Joe Litsky decides that things are gonna be okay for him, not get the country club or whatever it is he does it.
Well, I definitely think we have to sit down with him. I mean, I know last week, I think everybody left here with a lot of questions. And I just think that we're taking this a little too quickly here. I mean, I thought the questions raised by...
But it's fine, put a date certain out that would mean.
Well, then I'm all right with that. We sit down, we schedule and get some answers before we take action.
If you want to put a date certain, I'll pick a day. I tried doing it last time, I know there was some hammering on about, I'm not, I have to talk to this guy, and I'm not okay with that. We're the ones that are taking action, we should want to decide when.
Well, I mean, you quoted in the newspaper, Mike, that you're supporting this action because the authority isn't cooperating, but...
They're not.
That
night they had a meeting was proof they don't cooperate.
Well, I mean, sitting here
I
and saying that...
I asked that board 5 years ago, stop having meetings in a place that isn't a public space, which that executive board chamber is not. At least, where they had a meeting last week? You were here when you left, where were they?
Well, I think cooperation
I
is
see
two-way
where
street here.
they're at.
And I don't think we really work with them either, so...
What's the point? Every time you ask
Well,
for
the motion is made and seconded, so...
Motion's been made and seconded to table ordinance number 7 of 2014. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No, who has opposed?
Aye. Opposed. We'll do roll call.
Michael Alvarez,
No.
Ray Kushula,
Yes.
John O'Gore,
What was the question?
Table it.
Yes or no?
No, sir.
Bill Chapman,
No.
Bill O'Gore,
Yes.
Jesse Walk,
No. Motion to table is completed. I'll be looking for a motion to...
real quick before you ask that motion, my only question is, it was brought up about the January 1st date. We weren't sure if we could have everything cleared by January 1st. So are we going to change the date in that ordinance, or are we going to leave it as January 1st?
Can't change the date without we have it.
It's a minor change, it's not, you don't adjust it, it's taking it over, it's just changing the date. I don't think, if you want to make a different date on there, you can do that and adopt it. You're taking it over, it's just your date of it.
If we can see the flexibility.
Gives you a little flexibility.
As far as,
I don't know what kind of time is necessary. That was my only question. I don't know what kind of time is necessary.
transfer of assets.
I don't know all the assets are to transfer. I don't know the nature of all the equipment, I don't know the nature of,
Most of this is title transfer.
you know, a lot of title transfers, yeah, which we don't have. Some deeds they may have those. But I know when I talked to Kathy, she said she did something for the authority, and I look up deeds, she might have some of it, she's put it together, but they don't, they
they don't have a, you know, box sitting there with all the pieces of property in it. They didn't have that. She said it was a fair to get what she got, but 3 months.
I don't know what's that to do. I'm gonna have to, where is this?
You have to do all that late work and everything, how long do you think it's gonna take to get all this stuff sorted?
It depends whether they cooperate or don't cooperate with us. That's really it. We have to get all the documents for, not just what they have in loans, but we have to make contact with every lending institution that they have the loans with to make sure that we can assume it, or whether we need to obtain our own financing to do it. We have to get all the deeds, any piece of real property has to be transferred, and we need to know what needs to take place with respect to any licensing or what's required down in Harrisburg to operate that plant.
Mike, do you think March 1st would be acceptable?
Give it a shot. Give it a shot, and hopefully we'll stay on and do what we're doing.
You think we could do it?
I don't, think.
Do we have to set an exact date?
Well, it says, section 5 of the ordinance says on or before January 1, 2015. And from the discussion, I don't think we know if we're gonna have all the information by January 1.
Because we have no cooperation.
Like I said, cooperation's a two-way street.
Well, suppose we pass it and they don't have anything, never mind.
Then I have to work through how to get the title to those properties over, whether we have to go to court to get them or not. I mean, we'll have it, it's just getting the, you know, the titles for it.
So if we have to go to court for it, we're gonna have to expend some more fees for those court filings.
Not if we get cooperation.
So there's a lot of unknowns here.
What I don't want to, why I'm saying is you might need a little bit more time in that there is cooperation. You don't want to have that, this ordinance says that it's as of January 1st, 2015, and then there's a deed that needs to be transferred. It's after that date that they have the authority to transfer that deed. They're no longer an existing legal entity. That's my concern. You've taken it over, you've disbanded the authority effective January 1st. Now there's no entity to transfer
Have
it
this
back.
ordinance actually stated that in January 1st, transition will start. And whenever all the paperwork's
You're terminating the authority. That's an ordinance terminating the authority.
Well, I don't care. I just say, I'm going to put it off. I think we should really on this and then we start on meeting before people.
Only problem is that people after January 1st now we're dealing with two sets of books.
Yeah, and then we don't we don't get the savings on the audit fees, which is not a small amount of money.
Michael, what's the worst case scenario if we pass it? As far as having things that aren't completely completed yet upon the takeover January 1st.
I can't tell you what's going to come. I've never done one of these. They're not done that often.
Not all ones that have been all the fights.
Yep. So I mean, you're asking me something which I don't know. You know, getting a deed from an entity that doesn't exist anymore with successor in interest, maybe we could file a quitclaim deed. Maybe we could get the court to issue an order declaring it to be ours with a successor in interest, so we purchased it. It's just nobody, it's not a clean transfer. You can terminate it, we can do it, we can take over the project. It's that simple.
How could we put you first? It says on. During the cooperative, that's fine, make the motion, have it June 1st, and then come in, sit down, give us all the information that's necessary.
I don't have a problem with that.
I just want to say, we're talking about cooperation. You got to understand where these guys are coming from. They heard about this secondhand, you know. know, they had rumors going throughout town, they weren't even approached about it, so of course they're gonna be a little upset when they find out we're voting to advertise, we're considering dissolving the authority. They're working, and they're running the water operations there at the authority for the borough. I mean, they don't need to be doing these things, so of course they're gonna be a little upset when they find out secondhand that this is something that was being considered, so, like I said earlier, I just think we're moving a little too quickly here. There's a lot of unknowns. And if they're willing to sit down at a meeting, then more power. That would be the way to go.
The only unknown is really if they're gonna cooperate.
Well, I mean, we keep saying now, if they're gonna cooperate. How many conversations have been had with any authority members within the last 3 or 4 months about this? One, and it was last week at this meeting. They weren't approached about it. There's no dialogue that was brought up with it between the council and authority members about dissolving the authority.
I'll make a motion, we pass ordinance number 7, effective June 1st.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve ordinance number 7 with the change that will be effective June 1st of 2015. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
No. Ayes have it. It's on here to discuss the purchase of the roller that was presented. I think we should take a couple of weeks and look at the financing on it and see what's going to work best before we already have set out in the budget. That way, there's money in there for equipment.
Is it worth, Jesse, is it worth just saying to take out a 5-year on that if there's no penalty?
I don't know that we need to do that. That's why I was happy to see his card in there.
There's no penalty for paying it off early.
No, but we would be paying some interest.
While we're here, we're going to talk about at least putting the looking for the purchase of the equipment and decide plans. We'll have some spell out on the plans.
I don't think that's really necessary because it's not like we're paving in December.
I know, but you know what happens, it gets in
We're not gonna forget about it.
I've heard this before.
How about, what I'd like to see is a motion to table, and that way it will be in the agenda next month, and I will get the work done. Then we'll see what the numbers look like.
How long will it take to get this unit?
Have them in stock.
Okay, that's, okay. I make the motion to table to December meeting.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to table the discussion of the roller purchase until next month. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Just want to run the numbers. Okay, thank you. All right. New business.
I got one thing we need to go over this. When we first moved into this building, we're supposed to have a PA system. And I don't know, Kira should remember, I'm positive when Dave Warren was still on council and stuff, we voted to approve the purchase, some form of a PA system.
Dave Moore was never on council.
And it was never ever purchased. And you know what? We had, like, the meeting last week with the water authority people, you couldn't hardly hear what anybody was saying and whatnot, you know. And bottom line is, I know it was on our agenda, and we approved it sometime.
I know what we're talking about.
You're not talking about a $6,000, you know, purchase here. Tell you the truth, I don't even remember what it was.
You're talking about the meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
This room isn't that big.
That's what I'm saying, wouldn't cost that much, I'm telling you. You couldn't hear what happened.
You know what, Jack? You're right there, because I'll tell you what, we have a hell of a time here and back here, what you guys are chattering about. It's the truth.
I mean, the room's not big, but bottom line is, when somebody's in the back talking, I'm clicking my hearing aids on. That's my PA system, and that don't
I
work
remember
perfectly.
distinctly,
I got them from the VA.
School Electronics, I think, gave a price, and I think Mike O'Kinder was gonna run some things. He was gonna do something to make it a little cheaper.
I don't recall.
Was that?
I don't recall. I know we talked.
I do remember that, and it just never materialized. As I remember, he.
You probably purchased them cheerleader things, you know, that they talk to. Stand them out of the meeting.
Craig, can you get
That
something
would
on
cost a
that?
hell of a lot.
I can get those. I can get those for free.
He could get all the city with that. We'll get the medium size.
I'll call CSI again.
All right. I mean, you'd be surprised the amount of people that come to these meetings and stuff and walk outside or something and say, this is all, when is gonna go PA system? We can't hear nothing that's going on.
Anything else under old business?
Makes most of these stuff.